That's bad.
All right, what's going on, guys? It is a pretty good day out today. It is up to a sweltering 47 degrees, which you know what that means. Door open Tuesday. So we are back to work on the Fiero today, getting the LS4 and 4T60. It turns out it's a 4T65E after doing a little bit of research. So got the gas tank back up in it. You remember how I said that it looked like it was in decent enough shape to reuse? Well, turns out I am a big old fat liar, because as soon as I tightened this strap back down, it was just enough friction or pressure or whatever to put a tiny little pinhole in there. So, gonna have to figure something out for that. That's not something that's crucial right now. I can leave that up there. That way I can run the lines and everything. Because our Corvette style filter regulator also showed up. Still waiting on the water pump and intake. I do have to drop the cradle out of the car so I can put all the sensors in it. Those showed up yesterday, but got them out of the mailbox today. There's a couple little spots I want to go over one more time with the welder, just for extra strength. Shouldn't really need them, but it'll be better visually and for peace of mind if there's a couple extra little beads on there. And then I can get the cradle dropped out of that thing. And while we're on the topic of Fieros, I've had a lot of people ask me where my Fiero is. So real quick, I'll walk out back to show you guys where that thing's been at. It is right here out of the way under my deck. Kind of like a little makeshift lean-to. But yeah, that thing, we got it running. A few people seem to have missed that it ever... What the heck happened to the bumper and light ring there? It's like something ran into it or something. Kids. But yeah, a few people missed that the car ever ran. Yes, got it fired up and learned a valuable lesson about LS4s. Apparently, they have the same firing order as a traditional LS, but they start on number 6 instead of on number 1. So it's like it was running with the distributor 180 out. And when we first got it fired up off starting fluid, there was a loud bang. It sounded like a backfire, and the engine was knocking ever since then. So I kept telling myself that, like, no, it couldn't have thrown a rod, right? Like, it has barely gone above idle. But yeah, pulled the pan off to inspect it, and there was just chunks of rod all over. So I've got to find another LS4 for that. I could rebuild it, but it'd be nice to just find a stock LS4 to put in it. Maybe put the cam back in it. I don't know. And then basically once it has a new motor in it, that thing's pretty much a runner, I think. Well, I did steal the wiring harness off of it for the Mustang here. It's just a stock LS swap harness and stock computer. I'm gonna use that to get this thing fired up, just stock ECU. And then Pops was talking about taking this thing on a drag and drive. And it's like, if we were gonna do that, I'd like to have a 4L80 like in the Skylark in it. Or maybe we just put a turbo on the Skylark. So yeah, that's where my Fiero, my wife's Fiero, is. It's just parked out back, waiting for me to get the ambition to completely pull it apart again. Not that it'd be a huge deal, just really don't feel like doing it right now. Because I'm doing it on this right now. So I'm going to get those couple little beads down. They're like 1.5 inch long beads on each side of a motor mount brace. So I'm going to get those done, just that way, because they're easy to get to right now. And then we can start dropping this thing down out of the car. And because I don't really want to set any fires, let's get this all cleaned up first. Oh gosh, that light is making it tough to see where I'm at. Alright, and then for this fuel filter, we're going to put that right back in the stock location. But we're going to angle it a little bit just for better routing, because over in this area, can you guys see that? Over in this area is going to be like the alternator and the coolant lines and the water pump, all that crap. So I can just run those like that. Nice easy curve. Should be fine. If not, I can move it later, but I think it should be okay. These are high pressure lines too. I've used these on a few cars. And then obviously got the feed marked because I just have this looped right now. That way I can cut them to the exact length needed. So now I should be able to drop this thing out of here, I believe. Here's the subframe cradle that I made for my car. So I'm gonna have to lower it onto it first so I can move the arms of the hoist, and then we can get this whole deal situated. Let's see if this thing falls. Woo-hoo! Whoa! Whoa! Okay. Do I need any of those off the car right now? Yes, I do. Let me grab those real quick. Okay, now let's get you. There we go. Let's check the other side. Perfect. Keep on keeping on. So now I can put all the sensors in the motor, put the gaskets in for the exhaust. I need to get, do I need a bolt? No, I just need a nut for this one. I think I might need a bolt for the other side. Hopefully the exhaust, or not the exhaust, geez Louise. Hopefully the intake and water pump show up today. That's supposed to be like that, all right, cool. Yeah, I can reinforce the motor mounts while we're here, because I've got one at the transmission, one on each side of the block. This one's bolted to the end of the transmission, which also has a mount to the block, so that's all good there. I need to clean up where I clearanced the cradle here, which I might just, I don't know, probably just clean it up. Shouldn't really need a whole lot there. Put the balancer on. Did I say exhaust gaskets? I'm pretty sure I did. Looking pretty decent. Might do a couple things in the engine bay here. I would like to find a way to weld the nut here, but I don't think that's going to happen. Because when I was taking the cradle out, I had to lift the car up a little bit to put tension on this bolt so I could tighten it, or loosen it in this case. Yeah, I got the new cross member there all welded, which truthfully, once we got the engine in place, I didn't have to cut that out. But this is a thicker wall steel, so not the end of the world there. Gives us a little bit more room to get to things also. So I guess to start, I will probably get the exhaust gaskets in there. New gaskets, feeling good there. They're the MLS ones, just better, just flat out better. New bolts here, which to be honest I didn't know it came with. And they look, I think they look like the right thread. I've ordered gaskets so many times, or not gaskets, I've ordered headers so many times, and they come with freaking small block Chevy bolts. These ones look like the right thread though. But as long as the manifold stays right there and doesn't move at all, we're good. Heck yeah. Okay. Now I can take these other two out. It's not the 13 that I wanted. Okay. A little tight there, a little snug. Let us bust out the big dog. You gonna stay? Oh, fuck. Oh, dude. Come on, car. I gotta take this car up. Alright, so I actually have to pull this friggin' thing out of the way, don't I? Alright. Let's see if we can get this duct tape off. I can't fucking grab it. There we go. Goodness. Come on. Jesus. Should have just let them burn off. Manifold side. I just destroyed my finger, but it's alright, we're powering through. We are powering through. I've seen people put headers on, get 2 bolts started, tighten it down, and then wonder why the other bolts don't line up. You really want to get them all started first. We're going to leave this side loose while we do the other side, and then tighten it all up at once. This side is a ball and socket. That side is also a ball and socket, so we don't need any gaskets there. I do need a new nut. That's what she said. Yeah, you're not the right thread. Alright, I'm gonna get the other side on, and then we'll zip this thing down. Alright, manifolds, crossover, all that is tightened down, permanently affixed, which I'm just now thinking I might pull this side back off, because I might weld the V-band onto here instead of this plate flange. And then I need to make the exhaust system, which I'll do that once it's back up in the car so that I know everything fits there good. I can get the balancer on right now. I need to wait for the water pump before I can start making the alternator brackets. Shoot. I can start putting sensors in this thing also while we're here, and everything's relatively easy to get to. Can I get to this? I'm gonna have to be able to get to that, huh? Yeah, I'm gonna start putting sensors in it. I would have preferred GM sensors, but we'll work with what we got. Let's start with oil pressure. Leave that screen out for now. Those things have a tendency to clog. That seems good. I'm not going to over tighten it and break something. Water temp sensor. Well, we'll start with it here. Does this have? It does, okay. We'll start with it here. I don't know how much room we're going to have. You guys getting sick yet? Now, cam sensor. The good old Cameron sensor. Alright, camera battery died, but got the crank sensor in. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it back there, but I had to pull the manifold back off to get to it, because giving it one of them is impossible for me. So, I think we left off, I was putting the cam sensor in. And right now, I want to, before I get the balancer on, I want to pull the timing cover off to check what cam gear is in this. So I'm just going to loosen these bottom ones, because I don't need to pull it all the way off. I can just tilt it. Alright, so that is a 4X cam gear. Awesome. Now on mine, because mine was a 24X instead of a 58X crank, I put a 1X cam gear on mine. You gonna get back in there? Yeah, let me take a picture of this just for future reference. Alright, so I'm pretty sure I've mentioned that this thing's going to be run off Holley Terminator X Max. So I need to write down 58X cam Nope. 58X crank, reluctor wheel, 4X cam gear, and we'll start the firing order on number 6. This does have a very mild cam, like a Z06 cam. I want to get the oxygen sensor in here before putting all this back up in there, because that's going to be a pain in the butt to get to, because that lands like right in here somewhere. So we're going to hold off on that. So I need to cut a little triangle gusset for the mount down there. The mount over there, all square box tube. So that's chill. Don't have to worry about that. The rear one, I could try to gusset, but once these ones are in place, that one's basically just holding the ass up. These ones are going to keep it from shifting anywhere. So not worried about that. Alright, got the gussets welded for that. That's all good. Kind of ugly welds, so I'm not going to show you guys, but I have zero doubts that they will hold. Now, I'm going to heat up the balancer a little bit. It doesn't need a whole lot. Heat it up, expand it, slide it on, tighten the bolt down. Going to put a little bit of Loctite on the bolt also. Like I said, we don't need it real hot. We just need to expand it a little bit. Come on. Alright, balancer's on there. You can see how close it is to the timing cover. The grooves end at like 1 3/8 inches. And then compare that to an F-body balancer. You can see that one's not even there. Where the fuck? Alright, here we are. Here's the F-body balancer for the Mustang. You can see just going from where the bolt is, how far down it is in there, to this. That is quite a difference. About 2.5 inches from the bolt. So anyway, just got some chassis black dusted on the cradle here. Gonna let that dry. I've got to go pick up the kids from school, and then hopefully today or tomorrow the intake and water manifold all shows up. I can start making a bracket for the alternator, which should be down in here somewhere. We can go get a belt, get some plugs, basically start throwing this thing back up in there for permanent. I could get it back up in the car, start making the exhaust. I need to get a couple 90s for the exhaust. I got the mufflers over there on the trunk of my shelf over here. So I could start doing that, but I don't want to pull this thing in and out a bunch because it's a pain in the ass. So I'd kind of like to just wait until I get all of this done, put it back up in the car, and not have to pull it out again. All right, I've got good news and I've got bad news. We'll start with the bad news first. The bad news is the box of parts that the owner of this car has shipped up to me that had the water pump, 2 intakes, and a few other things I think he said. is missing. We are probably never going to see that stuff again, which is awesome because it was an LS1 intake that he sent along with the stock LS4. We're going to see if we can make the LS1 work, which I think I'd have to change a few things, not a huge deal. And the LS4 water pump, which those are pretty hard to find. Not like they're hard to find, but they're not super common, right? And they're super expensive. So, got to come up with another water pump and another intake for this thing. Not a huge deal, but it does delay things, which sucks. And then the good news is the Holley system should be here, I think, tomorrow. But that is going to do it for today's video, so keep an eye out for future updates of this car and some of the other hot rods we got going on here. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing and clicking the bell to get the notifications. See you next time.